So we got 400 people at that Sammy Singles. We realized we were on to something. So every 2 or 3 times a year, we'd have a Sammy Singles event. The largest was 5,000 people showed up at Greenspoint Mall.
Wow.
Guns Point.
Mm-hmm.
And we have 28 marriages and 27 children born
Oof.
as a result of Sammy Singles. 2 of the kids are named after me.
La Pizarra, The Slate, exploring creative minds in the entertainment industry. Here's your host, Nicky Mondellini.
Welcome to La Pizarra. My name is Nicky Mondellini, and I'm very happy that you're joining us today. This is part 2 of last week's episode. Enjoy. I think there's also like a flip side of that has happened to me on occasion. And I won't say names, but once I interviewed this woman and she just practically took over, wouldn't even let me ask anything else. It's like as though I was standing in front of her, grabbed the microphone from me, just went off on her own. And I'm like, I have this list of 10 questions that I'm probably not going to be able to. I mean, if I ask 3 of them, I feel fortunate, right? But it was really hard because I also wanted to sort of get certain things like the juicy bits of information that I wanted to share with my audience that she had to give, but it's hard to steer them in that way. Have you had any situation like that before?
Oh, yeah. And that's a given. You're going to have mic grabbers.
Mm.
If you ever remember like talk show, I don't know much talk shows anymore, but like Phil Donahue or Oprah would come down, to talk to a person, and the person would grab the mic.
Yeah.
And then Oprah would have to pull the mic back or they would turn it off. There's nothing you can do and just say, hold on, we have more people to get to.
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll get it.
Yeah.
But you're right, that mic grabbers happen. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All you can do is just try to cut in there. Like I read, I think I heard this interview with Terry Gross from NPR, and she mentioned something like that. And she's like, well, I've had people that don't let me talk, and I just have to be persistent, and then sometimes I don't have to be so nice, just interrupt them so I can get the important question in there, right? So yeah, it's not easy, but it does happen. So anyway, now I know that you attended both of the inaugurations of George W. Bush, and so how was that? Just to be there and be close to all those people. Did you ever think you'd ever be in those situations?
No. I don't think there's many kids thrown out of public schools for fighting who were there. That was really cool because we were like, oh my gosh, George W. Bush. And my wife had said, we were at dinner. The elections had already passed. And somebody's talking about the inauguration. And my wife, Denise, goes, get tickets for the inauguration. I'm like, okay, how do you do that? She's like, you figure it out. I'm like, I don't know how do you get tickets to an inauguration? I don't know that. But it's a mission. It's asking questions. Mm-hmm. And there was actually a Democrat congressman who I was friends with. And I'm Republican, he's Democrat. And I called him. He goes, funny you should call. He says, I can't give these tickets away to my constituents. He says, nobody I know wants them. I was thinking of you and you called me. And so he gave me the 2 tickets.
Wow.
And I went to,
Perfect.
There's a big party called Black Tie and Boots in Washington, in which the Texans have their own party, regardless. Now, it happened to be a Texan became the president in George W. Bush. So it was awesome. Those are crazy parties. We got to go. I'm very blessed to have seen it and gotten close. My wife and I had time for some other missions and adventures. I had asked some people that I want to meet President Bush one-on-one with Laura. And they said, we'll let you know. And that we got the call. We'll give you 5 minutes with the president. And Denise and I, he came to fly into town for an event here, but they had a private little room set up just that we could go talk to him. The great thing about media is if you just are respectful and nice, you can go a lot of places.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
If you're just respectful and nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the key. You have to be respectful for sure. And I think you're also responsible for helping a lot of people meet their spouses, right? Because you had this events thing that you were hosting. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, oh my God, it was called Sammy's Singles.
Uh-huh.
And this goes back. And on the radio, it's a whole nother story, but I was always told on the radio, here at KRB, in fact, don't talk about being married. Don't talk about being happily married. Don't talk about your wife is hot, all this garbage. I was like, yeah, you know what? You can stick that, you know where. And I pushed the other way. And I would tell people, I hope and pray that you all meet the man or woman in your life who will make your life better. You can start a family, you bring God into your relationship. You create children, so forth and so on. Well, how are you going to do it? People are like, how do you do it? I can't do it. I can't do it. And I had said on the radio that I used to go food shopping around noon or 1 because the show was over. Mm-hmm. And I'd go to the supermarket and I said, boy, you can sure tell a lot about people by what they shop, by what's in their cart, right? Uh-huh. You got a mom and she's got 10 pounds of ground meat and 20 pounds of this and 10 gallons of milk. She's got a big family. You would see women with like 1 or 2 things of yogurt, 1 or 2 things out of ramen noodles. I said, well, she must live alone. So I told that story on the radio. So we got Randall's on Voss near San Felipe.
Yeah.
To let us have a singles event in the supermarket, 7 o'clock on a Wednesday night. And the deal was, if you were single and you knew while you were there, you would look at people's carts and start talking. If somebody busted you, you go, I didn't know it was a singles event here. I'm just shopping. So we got 400 people at that Sammy Singles. We realized we were on to something. So every 2 or 3 times a year, we'd have a Sammy Singles event. The largest was 5,000 people showed up at Greenspoint Mall.
Wow.
Guns Point. Mm-hmm. And we have 28 marriages and 27 children born. Oof. As a result of Sammy Singles. 2 of the kids are named after me. Yesterday, I got an email from one of the children born, and they wanted to know if we had a copy of the broadcast. I said, no, we don't. We don't keep it. But great hearing from you. So 28 marriages and 28 kids. That's from a morning radio show? That's crazy.
That is pretty special, Sam. Definitely. It's gorgeous. Are you planning on doing something similar or no?
No, I'm big. Well, you've been up to headquarters. We're busier than ever. If we can ever do it again, maybe. But there's just no time. Nick, there's 24 hours in a day. Until there's 25 or 26, I can't.
You can do it. Yeah, I know. And now that you're talking about new media, about your company, which is amazing. I mean, your studios are state of the art. I mean, I was just geeking over your beautiful screen, so large, and all the things you're able to do there. So how is it that right now you're in that as well as radio? How do you find time? Like you say, there's not more time in the day, but I know you have a good team with you. But how is it that you have been evolving from that, from being a radio personality to being a creative, and just producing videos and commercials and everything nationwide?
Well, that's a good question. Natural progression. Being on the radio and having clients in the studio, they were always asking for help, like I'd said. Mm-hmm. And you realize there's a niche in the market. There's some sort of opening that people aren't aware of. Clients who are buying radio and TV needed more marketing help. They had more questions, and their questions were not being answered, and their needs were not being met by the current landscape of marketing, media, radio, and television. So I opened up this company 10 years ago. I mean, this is not an overnight success story. Knowing that clients that I knew needed more help. They needed a trustworthy source. So I've got, obviously, the radio and TV experience. So I'm the only one who brings a very unique perspective. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not a marketing person. I'm a creative on-air person.
Yeah.
I know what works. Mm-hmm. I've listened to hundreds of thousands of commercials in my 37 years of radio. Mm-hmm. I know what people want to hear. I know how they want to hear it, how to reach people in the verbiage and what goes along with it. Video, social media, digital, whatever. And that's how the company grew. It grew because clients who were on the radio, on television, buying billboards, buying print ads, were not happy. They were not fulfilled in their quest to make their businesses the best possible. And I'm thinking, hey, there could be there. Actually, and give credit to my wife. She was like, honey, people are coming to you because there's a hunk of real estate that no one's dealing with. Mm-hmm. Take care of that hunk of real estate. So 10 years ago, opened the company with 1 employee, He had a ponytail. And, we were in a little tiny space, and through God's blessing and a lot of prayer and a lot of hard work, it's not easy.
Sure.
And you've been up now, we've grown, and now we have a wonderful, huge staff, and we in-house build your website. We handle the creative, which is what I love to do creative.
Mm-hmm.
We shoot the commercials, obviously your social media videos. We run the social media accounts. We handle crisis, which is interesting because I'm the only media guy who's doing crisis. A lot of people have a communications degree, but I've been there on the front line. I can tell you, how we can put out the fire. So
yeah,
it was one of those things. There was, keep your eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
And in your own businesses, whether you're selling shoes, or building swimming pools, you're going to find, if you just keep your eyes open, pray a lot, an area that no one else is standing in. And just if you can, move your talent or a company in that direction. And that's what we've done. It's called 512 New Media.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing. And like I said, it ain't easy.
It ain't easy. And talking about crisis, I mean, I'm sure, something that really put a wrench into everybody's work was, of course, COVID. I'm sure you had a lot of calls, crisis calls from clients, and what do we do? I saw a lot of people just, solve it with animation, right? That they had probably wanted to shoot this whole commercial. They had this whole thing planned and their storyboard and everything. And all of a sudden they had to transfer everything to an animated video or something like that. What are some of the things that you helped clients with during that time?
Well, real quick on COVID, I'm one of the few businesses that refuse to shut down. And I refuse to stay away from work.
Uh-huh.
You cannot tell me I cannot run my business. I don't care.
Sure.
You better have one hell of a street fighting crew. You want to pick that fight. Because I have a crew. They got employees. They got to eat. We got clients who are, help. What do we do?
Yeah.
So we came into work. I think the first 7 or 8 days, they really wouldn't let me in the building. And then after that, I'm like, look, sue me, come after me. I'll sue you, one or the other. I don't really care. We're going to work. So we came in. We were the only company working. And we took all the precautions. We all drank vodka and gargled and spit out the vodka. But we created businesses, B2B and B2C, business to business and business to the consumers.
Uh-huh.
How can, what can you expect from our company now that the China flu's here? What can you do? Will you get your product? Will you not get your product? Will there be delays? What about payment? What about coming into our stores when we reopen? How should employees prep? So we were cranking out so many videos to save businesses because you are not going to shut me down. I don't care who you are. And we're not going to let you get shut down and get hosed. A lot of people lost businesses, lost a crap load of money.
Yeah.
And, we prayed every day about it. But we came in, other than there's like 7 or 8 days when they were real, you're not coming in. And I'm like, call my lawyers. I'm like calling everybody. Yeah. So we came in every day. I was here every single day. I did not miss a day of 2020.
Wow. And I think that's part of your success, how people know that you are there for them and you help them through those difficult times. And, you're the guy to call whenever there's a crisis and they need to see, and make it happen,
But therefore, you know what, Nick? A lot of these clients become our friends.
Yeah.
And if you ever see me out, we go out a lot, is because we're out with our clients who are friends.
Yeah.
I can't let my friend's business falter, stumble, die, close. I can't do it. Those men and women have been there for me for either 10 years of my company or the 30 years I've been on the radio, right? And we still have some of the same clients from 93.
Wow. That's amazing.
So hell or high water. If you were in trouble, you were a client of mine, you were a friend, and you call like, Sam, I need help. I don't know what to do. I would say, don't come in if you don't feel like it, but let's talk. Let me bring my marketing expertise. Let's help you. And if you need, obviously we can update the websites to, hey, we're closed or we're going to reopen, or you can order online. We can put the items up there. We can put videos for when you come into the store, keep 6 feet apart, wash your hands, where are you at, whatever. But people, you got to understand, like, I was never an owner until I was 50. I was an employee. Mm-hmm. Some people open up stores and businesses early on. I watched and helped people get wealthy through advertising. And then I saw people really lose a lot. Okay? When you get 50, you're like, I don't know, you get softer or something. You get like, and I'm like, we are going to help every single person. And whether they can pay or not, that was the other thing. There are people like, I don't have, whatever you ask for $1 and I only have 20 cents. I said, all right, we'll take 20 cents. Just get back in business.
Yeah.
And let's talk when you're open again. So.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. And that's how you grow your loyal clients. For sure. Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So before I let you go, because I know you have pressing things to do right after, but is there anyone that you still would like to interview that you haven't had a chance to do?
These are tough questions. Is there anybody? Okay, there's probably, I can think of maybe two. Living, right? Living.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
I mean, you could choose a hypothetical, like if you could go back in time and,
I hate that game. If I go back in time, I would have loved to have interviewed Ronald Reagan because he made such a 180-degree career change.
Oof. Talk about it, yeah.
And right from Hollywood and the head of that union, whatever that was, and the movies, to like getting the world to chill out, okay, and oversee a great economy and all that. So if we take living people, it would have to be two women who I used to talk about on the radio all the time, Martha Stewart and Jennifer Aniston.
Wow. Great ladies, both of them. Yeah.
Right. So Martha built up this incredible empire, screwed up, and built up the empire again.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
By changing direction. And Jennifer Aniston has been able to keep her brand pretty solid for her entire career, right?
Yeah.
When she was Rachel on Friends to today, and she does some Independence and some water commercials, whatever they are. So as a marketing guy who, this is what I do full time.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart was, seriously, the queen of all the home items, from the cooking and the furniture and the desserts and the canapes.
Yeah.
But she rebuilt herself, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer her brand hasn't really changed in 30, 40 years, however old she is. So as a marketing guy, I'd like to talk to those two. So if you know them, here's your way of repaying me for coming on your podcast.
I wish I knew them, Sam, and I would get the interview for you right away. I'll start to get onto their agents or something. We'll make it happen somehow. I don't know. Let's manifest it.
Somehow I don't think we're going to have them, but it's okay.
You never know. You never know. We'll put it out there. Sam, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you coming on the podcast. Now, you do have your own podcast that you're starting now as well, aren't you?
We are launching, yes, and we were in talks today with syndicators, literally today.
Oh.
So I'll get to it when it's all squared away. It's, like I said, there's so many things going on at the company.
Yeah.
And you have to really compartmentalize your projects so you don't get burned out. Mm-hmm. And we talked with syndicators today, and we have another call coming, it was a Zoom. So we're going to launch from here in our TV studios a really, really, really wonderful podcast for all 50 states.
Oh, wonderful. Well, do keep me in the loop because, I'd like to update what new things my guests have been doing so we can, put it out there as well. So we will definitely do that. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. Thanks again, Sam. And just best of success with everything, podcast and all of your endeavors.
You got it. Thank you. And now I'm going to be famous after this. I was just kind of floating along, and then I came on this podcast. I know my career is finally going to take off. So,
and on that note, where can people find you? Find your website and everything. I'm going to put links to everything in the show notes.
The company is 512 New Media, 512 New Media, and as always, we keep our content at sammalone.com. Sammalone.com. It's pretty simple. So
perfect.
Check it out.
Okay. Definitely. All right, Sam. Well, I'll let you go now. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks, Nick, and see ya.
I love that one.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast player or YouTube if you haven't done so. Share what you liked about this episode on social media and tag us at Nicky Mondellini.